Good afternoon, guys. I can tell you guys right now, I did not think I was getting this out today. Because I laid down earlier, I was just relaxing, watching some YouTube, watching some live streams on Twitch, and all of a sudden I woke up. A couple of hours later, it was nighttime, and I was like, what? What happened? I didn't expect to fall asleep. I didn't want to fall asleep. I was just really, really comfortable, apparently. It was pretty fucking funny. Just moments when that happened. Moments like that when that happens, when you're just relaxing. You're like in your own peace and zen. And all of a sudden, you're waking up a couple of hours later, wondering what happened. So like, so, well, that happened. But anyway, today, we're moving on to the Volume 4 World of Remnant Part 2 videos. Well, Part 2 from what the other ones I had. Ones that we have are Between Kingdom. We have Between Kingdoms, Faunus, the Schnee Dust Company, and the Great WoR. Which the Great WoR is the longest World of Remnant video that there's been so far. So it's going to be interesting to see what it talks about there. This is different because these aren't on YouTube. So these, a couple of them are, but they're not like from Rooster Teeth officially. So I've got to watch these on the actual site, on Rooster Teeth's actual site. So I'm curious to see about these. Let's jump in and take a look. And Rooster Teeth's got that quality video though.
So, now you know more about the kingdoms. But, what's between the big cities? Alright, the easy answer is RWBY. There's no reason to beat around the bush. They're out there. And it probably won't go well if you run into one.
Yeah, Grimm just everywhere around the world.
Or huntress. And you've trained at one of the major academies, so you're probably fine. Just don't get yourself overrun by a pack of them.
Otherwise, you big dead.
Now, after a long day of killing Grimm and saving the world, you're going to probably want to stop at a small town inn. Small villages dot the land between the major cities. You might ask, with the wilderness being so dangerous, why not just live in the big cities? Well, that life isn't meant for everyone. These small towns are founded by people that have a problem with the kingdoms, or don't want to deal with the kingdom's problems, or maybe just enjoy the simpler life and would rather take their chances in the wild than in a kingdom. It goes about as well as you'd think.
I feel like that guy there, that he was describing himself.
There's a good chance these towns can survive for the same reason the kingdoms continue to. Natural barriers, strong defenses, and stubborn citizens.
And the turrets.
If you don't have at least a few of those, then the chances of a town lasting more than a year isn't great. Unfortunately, it's not just the Grimm running around ruining towns. Wandering bandits are another threat. These groups of usually fairly skilled fighters travel the lands, never settling in one place. They often prey on convoys, sending goods between kingdoms. That's not all.
So we got
the raiders will often wait for a town to be at its weakest, maybe after a Grimm attack, or while its fighters are out hunting.
Oh, so you got like
finally moving in at night and striking. Bunch of jerks.
So bandits and the White Fang are the same thing, or like they're two different?
Grimm hadn't attacked before. You'd better be damn sure they will now. And you can't exactly have bandits raid your town without at least a few negative emotions. This is also why bandits never stay in the towns they conquer. With attitudes like the ones they have, Grimm tend to be pretty interested in them as well.
Yeah.
As long as they keep moving, they've got a better chance of survival. Besides these small towns, the areas between kingdoms really depend on the continent. Harsh deserts, icy tundras, lush forests, you name it. At this point, pretty much every inch of Remnant has been mapped out.
That's cool.
Although there are some areas areas that no one's gone into and come out alive.
I feel like...
Of course, somewhere out there is where she is.
So, that little ending line, that little end bit, that's super interesting. That so Crow knows about Salem, huh? I feel like is either talking about Salem or Raven, which like either one is pretty cool. Like, holy shit. Some people would have to know about Raven, right? So the people obviously know about Raven, the Ozpin. I'm guessing those four headmaster people, like Ozpin, Ironwood, Crow, and fucking the other witch chick. I don't remember her name. It's like I think she's like the one person who I never remembered her name. Alright, we're moving on to Faunus now. Let's see what happens in this one. These are pretty interesting. I like these informative World of Remnant videos.
You know, most of us
I try to take in all the information that I can. So that might be like the reason I'm not as talkative through these videos.
Faunus are a species on Remnant that appear to be human in just about every way. Every way but one.
They have
Each
animal
bits.
bits.
Animalistic trait. Some more apparent than others. Ram horns, tiger claws, cat ears. I swear on my huntsman's license, I once saw a guy regrow his severed lizard tail. I swear, no amount of drinking can make you forget that pretty picture. As far as everyone's aware, Faunus have been around as long as mankind.
So now we know why the Crow drinks.
History gets a little fuzzy past a certain point, but we do know that their kind and ours are completely compatible from a biological standpoint. Take two wolf Faunus, and you get a little wolf cub kiddo.
Aww.
A wolf Faunus and a human also typically means your little bundle of joys teething phase could get a little dicey. But if you take a wolf Faunus and a bull Faunus, for example, it's a complete roll of the dice. For all you know, you could be cleaning up your son's shedded snake skin.
Yeah,
Scientists
right.
are still scratching their heads when it comes to, well, a lot about the Faunus. But science isn't the real problem. It's how we all get along. Or in this case, how we don't. Early man was scared to death of the Faunus. And honestly, it's not too hard to sympathize with that. Seeing something that looks like you and acts like you walk out of the forest and reveal a pair of fangs can be a little upsetting.
Jesus.
Like most things man doesn't understand, all sorts of rumors and stories surround the Faunus. People avoided them like the plague, pushing them out of settlements and sometimes even hunting them down.
Holy shit. Is this gonna be...
And outnumber the Faunus. Faunus began to consider man nothing more than a hostile species.
Is this sort of gonna be like how the White Fang started as well?
These clashes between species were unavoidable, as land that was safe from the Grim was in constant short supply. But it was the Grim that finally brought humans and Faunus together for the first time. The village in Sanus fell under attack, and the only reason anyone survived was because the humans and Faunus united against their common enemy.
Get him.
It was a step in the right direction, but it didn't fix everything. Once humanity learned they weren't so different from the Faunus, they still used those differences as an excuse to exploit and alienate them.
Jesus.
The treatment of the Faunus differed around the world, and things wouldn't improve much for them until the Great War. Veil and Vacuo against Mantle and Mistral, a war unlike anyone had ever seen. And when it was over, the world was desperate to find compromises that would ensure they'd never see the likes of it again. Faunus were awarded equal rights as citizens of Remnant, and as an apology, they were given an entire continent of their own to do with as they pleased.
And that's menagerie now.
There were some that saw this as fair and just, but many saw it for what it really was. A slap in the face from a nation of sore losers. And so Menagerie was born. There's still Faunus all over the world, though the fair treatment they were promised varies in quality from place to place. But Menagerie will always be their safe haven. Here's the thing, though. You can only push and prod people so much before they reach a tipping point. And when you pack those people together, it just makes it all the easier for them to get organized.
Yep.
And get even.
Hell yeah. What the fuck? Cool. I'm liking learning all these backstories. Like the if there's like if you're sort of sitting there and you're just like, oh shit, he's not really talking much. Is he like? Does he care about what's happening right now? I do. I'm just trying to like take in as much as I can. I will probably forget a fair amount because that seems just to be what happens a lot with me. I just forget a lot all the time. But yeah, today. Next, we're moving on to Schnee Dust Company. We learned a little bit about this through the first 4 World of Remnant videos when we were talking about Atlas. So let's get a bit of more insight to this. These World of Remnant videos are getting longer. Oh, holy quality, bruh. Wait. It might not look as bad.
Oh boy. Yeah, okay. I've got a few words to say about this one. The Schnee Dust Company.
There we go.
Self-entitled, monopolizing SNOBs who only care about making a profit, no matter how many little people they gotta step on to make it happen. But that's just my opinion. As you all know, our survival in the world of Remnant depends almost entirely on a crystallized substance known as dust.
Dust.
It powers our cities, fuels our machines, and gives us a fighting chance against the creatures of Grimm. Which means it's extremely valuable. Nowadays, it's almost impossible to buy dust products without the Schnee Company snowflake stamped on the box. But it didn't always used to be that way. Nicholas Schnee was the son of a dust miner turned soldier. Born just after the Great War, he found himself at the perfect point in history to take full advantage of the world's next industrial
What the fuck was that?
The kingdom of Mantle, soon to be Atlas, was in a transformative period. They'd found themselves on the forefront of technology, but realized they depleted nearly all of their natural resources to do so. That's where old Nick came in.
Was he a saint? Well, Saint Nick.
On the aid of others, young Nicholas Schnee decided to spend his days at combat school, his nights working alongside his father in the dwindling Mantle mines, and any time in between learning everything he could about anything he didn't know. The kid had a fire in his belly. When his father died, he left his son everything he had. It wasn't much, but it was enough for Nick to set his plan into action. He left school, rallied all the men he could afford, and set out on an expedition to find a dust deposit that could revitalize his kingdom. And wouldn't you know, he actually pulled it off.
Huh.
Fast forward just a few years and the name Schnee suddenly meant something. Quality, affordability.
Damn, so they found a shitload.
See, all those years spent in combat school were so that Nick could personally oversee every new expedition. People appreciate a man who's willing to stick his neck out for them. And it's how the Schnee Dust Company earned the business of every kingdom in Remnant. Unfortunately, it's also what led to an early retirement. Nick had started a family that missed him, and his body was tired. years of working in dust mines can have some nasty side effects on your health.
That's what happens with life, I guess.
Having married into the family, Jacques decided to take the Schnee name over his own. He was a lot of words I shouldn't repeat. He was a cunning businessman.
Oh my god, I thought I was about to say he was a cunt.
Jacques managed to convince Nicholas that he was the perfect man to run the SDC in his place. And from a certain point of view, he was right. Under Jacques' leadership, the Schnee Dust Company has become more profitable than ever, completely dominating the industry, but at the cost of the company's soul. Cheap labor, dangerous working conditions.
This isn't Weiss's dad, is it?
Destroy the competition. Jacques Schnee doesn't care about people. He cares about winning. That, and making sure he's got the best damn PR team in the world. The Schnee name still means something today, but...
Like that Jacques character?
Well, your guess is as good as mine.
Weiss. You always gotta wait for that extra little cartoony extra bit just to know it's fully over. Is that Jacques character Weiss's dad? That's fucking kind of wild, huh? Interesting. Just when you start not having a feeling about a certain character, Crow's there to cement that feeling a little bit more. Something about Weiss's dad I really don't like. Maybe because he's just a dick. Now we're moving on to the last one. This one is called The Great War. Now, this is the one I've been most looking forward to watching today because I feel like this is going to be like super interesting. It's going to talk about the fight, like overall fighting with the Grimm, fighting over just everything. It's going to be interesting. Let's get in. The Great War.
The Great War. What a terrible name for such a horrible time in history. Though the war itself lasted around 10 years,
Holy
the
shit.
century leading up to it was filled with so much tension, you might as well lump them together. And most of that tension was coming from Mistral. Territories rich with resources and safe from Grimm have always been in high demand. But the Emperor of Mistral had managed to conquer nearly all that Anima had to offer. Thanks in part to an unlikely friend, Mantle. The two kingdoms had formed an alliance. Mistral provided the small kingdom with goods unavailable in the frozen tundra. In return, Mantle introduced technological innovation as well as guidance in the settlement of Anima's cold, northern territory.
Okay, so
It was good, until it wasn't.
Atlas and Mistral.
An incident in Mantle led to a strange and unexpected decree. The abolishment of the arts and repression of self-expression. The people of Mantle had come to believe that they would be much safer from the Grimm if they could simply keep the emotions of the masses in check. Given Mistral's strong, artistic culture, many assumed this would be the end of their alliance. But they were wrong. Mistral complied, selectively, enforcing Mantle's wishes only in the outer territories, allowing the centralized powers to continue to live as they pleased. If you haven't caught on yet, Mistral's full of jerks.
Oh, okay.
The people of Vale had a problem with this. Well, they had a problem with a lot of things.
I would have thought
Mistral
Atlas would have been the place full of jerks.
Treatment of their citizens, use of slave labor, and their constant insistence that their way of life was what was best for everyone.
Huh.
Eventually, Mistral made the jump across the sea to the eastern coast of Faunus. The small islands and peninsulas in the area were perfect to establish a settlement. So perfect, in fact, that Vale had just begun settling the area themselves. I think we can all guess what happened next. The King of Vale did everything he could to avoid armed conflict. Despite cries from his people, he insisted on sharing the land with the settlers from Mistral. But to this day, no one knows who shot first.
Solo.
It began as a riot between the two bands of settlers.
Comment section, please.
Suddenly become the first battle of the Great War. Mantle quickly came to Mistral's side.
Damn.
Battles were fought on both Sanus and
What's Vacuo doing in this entire time right now?
and Grim. And it wasn't long before Vacuo decided to join the party.
Fair enough.
Up to this point, Vacuo had done its best to stay out of the fight. Mantle and Mistral, having both already established a small presence in Vacuo territory years before, promised to leave them provided they didn't interfere. Soon, those talks evolved. It went from don't side with them to side with us and you'll be safe. Vacuo did not much care for that. They came to the conclusion that if Vale were to fall, there'd be no one left to stop Mistral and Mantle from conquering them next.
Nice.
So they did what they considered to be the logical thing. They drove Mantle and Mistral out of Vacuo and told Vale they had their backs. I love their style. So the war raged on. Grim attacks increased worldwide. On the battlefield, this meant a temporary ceasefire in order to deal with the hordes of monsters before returning to the fight at hand. Those left miserable back at home, however, were often helpless with their best warriors away fighting the good fight. A lot of settlements were lost during these years, and most were never reclaimed.
Jesus, man.
Rations on food and dust were put into effect. Development of technology accelerated. Humans and Faunus who fought alongside one another became closer. And every day, mankind grew more and more efficient at destroying itself. But it all ended in the Vacuo campaign. Mistral and Mantle knew that if they could take the dust mines of Vacuo, they would effectively cut off the supply of dust to their enemy. It was to be a final devastating blow to Vale and Vacuo. They were only half right.
Yeah.
King of Vale personally led his army into battle alongside the soldiers of
Okay.
and decimated the enemy forces. Crown atop his head and armed only with a sword and his scepter, he laid waste to countless men.
Holy shit.
The land was soaked red with blood. The Grim came in droves. It was the single deadliest battle of the war, and legends of the greatness and terror of the warrior king were born that day.
Damn.
Historians will tell you most of these stories are nothing but grandiose hyperbole. Unusually violent weather conditions, combined with Mantle's unfamiliarity with the desert combat, are likely what led to such a high death count. But whatever the reasoning, everyone bowed to the King of Vale by the time it was over. The Great War had ended. The world was ready to live under the rule of Vale. But the king refused. The leaders of the Four Kingdoms met on the island of Vital, and it was there that they worked together to form a treaty and establish the future of Remnant.
Oh, okay.
Territories were redistributed, slavery was abolished, governments restructured, and the warrior king, the last king Vale would ever have, founded the Huntsman Academies and placed his most trusted followers in command of each kingdom's school. He would teach the world to fight so long as we promised to fight for ourselves.
Beacon,
And never
Haven,
against ourselves.
Atlas, and... Oh, no.
Seems like we haven't kept our end of the bargain.
That was really nice. I like that. Super good. So my only question with the Great War one is, how long ago was the Great War compared to where we are now? And what happened to the leaders of like Vale, Mistral, Atlas, and all that? What happened to the king of Vale? What happened to them? Because like they said, they their most followers came together and they started their universities of like Beacon, Haven, and all that. But what happened to the kings in that? Did they? Is it just like that? Is it that long ago that they would have just died by now, or is there like some secret like hectic bit behind it all? Interesting. That was really good. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun to watch. Seeing like a bit of backstory with the actual Schnee Dust Company, learning a little bit more about the Faunus, the Between Kingdoms bit. Yeah, it was pretty good. Then the learning about like the whole Great War side, that was good. I really enjoyed that shit. Seeing a fucking King of Vale come out and he's just like, yeah, wanna cause shit? Fight me. And he just fucks them all. That was good. I enjoyed that. Okay, well, that is the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for the daily content. Comment down below which part of today's video was your favorite. Tomorrow, we get back to normal RWBY videos. Tomorrow should be Chapter 7 of just RWBY, Volume 4, Chapter 7. But if it gets blocked, then it'll be the next episode of Chibi. So you guys will know. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the next video. Bye, guys.